Happy Monday, June 17th, everyone. My name is Hunter here at North-Central Weather Center, and we are going to be talking about heat, more heat, and even more heat as we go through today's weather forecast. And what I'm saying here is there is a heat wave across much of the North-Central U.S., along with chances for severe weather and rounds of thunderstorms we'll get to as well. And we'll look ahead to the upcoming weekend's weather forecast in today's video. So if you are new here to North-Central Weather Center, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. Also give it a like if you like today's weather forecast, especially after the video. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those later on today. So let's go into today's weather forecast for your Monday, June 17th. And this morning, very mild across the east, across the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and the Midwest. Temperatures starting off well into the upper 70s. Behind the cool front across the upper Midwest, we do have a boundary sitting here, and we do have temperatures starting off this morning into the 40s in western North Dakota and the 50s across much of the plains, especially the northern plains and into Minnesota there in the upper Midwest. South of that boundary this afternoon, temperatures are well into the 90s. From the Chicagoland area back into Indianapolis here, all the way back toward portions of Kansas City, Des Moines, into the Dodge City area up to 95 this afternoon. To the north of the boundary, cooler. So Minneapolis, St. Paul to Duluth, back there to Bismarck, Fargo, even Rapid City, South Dakota. A lot of these areas will only be in the 60s and 70s for afternoon highs. Now we are tracking severe weather as we go into this afternoon and evening. There is a slight risk of severe storms. This is a level 2 out of 5 on the risk scale from the Marquette area here in Michigan all the way down through Green Bay, La Crosse, back here into Minneapolis, St. Paul, back into Sioux Falls, Aberdeen, Bismarck, up toward Grand Forks, and then back westward toward Rapid City, North Platte, and the Goodland, Kansas region as well. The main risk here is going to be 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts and some quarter-size hail. However, if you do live back toward the North Platte area or Goodland, Kansas, there could be some hailstones in there in that dash shaded line over 2 inches in diameter. That is hen egg size or larger, and a couple tornadoes will be possible. Again, the highest chance of a 5% chance of tornadoes there back into Nebraska around the North Platte area and down just north of Goodland, Kansas. So look at all the thunderstorm fuel we have hanging around. South of that boundary, we have a lot of fuel here. It's just like adding fuel to the gas tank, right? You add more fuel, the chance is higher for severe weather. Look at the instability over 2,000, 3,000, even over 4,000 joules per kilogram back here in Nebraska. So this afternoon, we're going to have an arcing band of some showers and storms further north across the upper Midwest. That will tend to move further to the north. We're going to be watching some isolated activity developing further to the south as we go into this evening and overnight, although it does a little bit lean more uncertain how much storm coverage there will be across Nebraska and northwest Kansas. If we get storms to fire in this environment, then they could go severe with even some tornadoes being possible this evening and overnight. Looking at the rainfall totals across the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes here as we go through your Tuesday morning commute, there will be pockets of a quarter inch and possibly a pocket of 1.25 inches or more. So we're going to be seeing some spotty rainfall. If you get under one of those thunderstorms, you definitely could be seeing some rainfall amounts over 1 inch, maybe up to, again, 1.25 inches in some areas. Where you don't see thunderstorms, well, you're just not going to see anything. You're just going to see the heat out there. Looking at the rest of the week ahead for Tuesday, June 18th through Friday, June 21st, here are your temperatures Tuesday afternoon. Heat is further off to the east, so the Midwest back into the 90s, the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley back into the 90s. Behind that boundary, pleasant spring-like temperatures into the 60s and 70s for the Dakotas, Nebraska, and up here especially into north-central Minnesota. Boundary will be on the move a little bit further east as we go into Wednesday, so that will kick the 90s further off to the east toward Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky, and even Missouri here, where much more of the plains in the upper Midwest will only be topping out into the 70s. Heat comes back from the south as we go into Thursday and starts to move us back into the 80s across portions of South Dakota, Nebraska, into Iowa. As we go into Friday, June 21st, although it's staying cooler further to the north where the showers and storms are and the associated cloud cover will be. We do have severe weather along that boundary. We have a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather on Tuesday from Duluth down into Minneapolis, St. Paul, Sioux Falls, Omaha, Hastings, all the way down here towards Salina, Kansas. You can see storms firing up Tuesday afternoon and dropping south and eastbound along that boundary Tuesday evening. As we go into Wednesday, just a general 0 out of 5, general garden variety type thunderstorm thunderstorms. Would not be surprised with all the heat in place on Wednesday ahead of that boundary. We have a marginal risk introduced potentially from the Great Lakes down to the Midwest or parts of the Ohio Valley. We'll keep an eye on that, but right now you can see Thursday, no outlooked areas for severe weather. And currently Friday, no outlooked areas for severe weather in the North-Central U.S. So that's some good news. But we will be watching that boundary as we go into Wednesday afternoon. Thursday afternoon, a little bit more spotty coverage. And then Friday afternoon, as the heat starts to build further north, the storm activity and the storm track shifts further north. So we'll be watching us up here in the Dakotas, into Nebraska, into Minnesota again, into Iowa, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and then back over toward Michigan for Friday afternoon. Here are the rainfall totals through that Tuesday, June 18th through Friday, June 21st timeframe, those 4 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You can see rainfall totals between 1 and 4 inches, depending on if you see one thunderstorm or multiple rounds of storms or none at all. If you don't see any at all, you're just not going to see any rainfall here, and that's most likely across the lower Ohio River Valley, especially for places like Kentucky as we go through the rest of the week. Now, looking ahead to the upcoming weekend on Saturday, June 22nd and Sunday, June 23rd, you can see that ridge of high pressure remains intact, especially across the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. A little trough, though, with a frontal boundary will be moving through the upper Midwest, and you can see that's where the cooler weather will be, behind that front across the Dakotas into northern and central Minnesota this upcoming weekend, and where the heat will be further east. We're 10, 20 degrees above average across the Illinois Valley, across the Great Lakes into the Ohio Valley here, and even further south out of our viewing area into the southeast as well. And you can see temperatures here preliminary on Saturday, and the frontal placement, the frontal boundary where the cold front sets up, is very uncertain, and the timing of it, the speed of it, and everything. So these temperatures are subject to change, but you can see as that front moves through, Saturday's hot, and then Sunday we start to see more refreshing air and, more importantly, drier air move in. So the humidity should start to wane as we go deeper into this upcoming weekend. So here comes that frontal boundary, that cold front. Attached to it will be showers and a few thunderstorms. That would not rule out the chance for severe weather with all the energy building out ahead of this with the heat and humidity on Saturday night. And then storms become a little bit more spotty and a little bit more uncertain as we go into Sunday with the placement of the boundary and how much storm coverage there'll be, if they'll be severe and everything like that. We'll keep you covered as we go through the week. But again, one of those things where if you get under one of those showers and storms, heavy rainfall will also be a problem as we go into this upcoming weekend. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe to North Central Weather Center as we do videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on this channel, and the weekends if needed for higher impact weather events. Give it a like down below if you like today's weather forecast. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those later on today. My name is Hunter with North Central Weather Center, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Monday out there.